wasn't that long ago, was it? But it feels like it's from another era.
Doesn't it? I know.
It's from 2007.
That is another era.
I think so.
That's a whole different era.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. We are the KThree. I'm Jen.
I'm Marisa, and you're part of the KThree.
Yes, and we just kind of wanted to check in real quick because we kind of went MIA about 2 weeks ago, and that had to do with the ongoing double strike in Hollywood. So in case you don't know, both the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA have both gone on strike. And so I'm a member of SAG, and so unfortunately, due to that fact, we can't talk about any of the struck companies.
Right. So a struck company means some of the streaming sites and the studios, not all the streaming sites, but studios like Disney, Netflix, Amazon Prime. These are struck companies, and this is who SAG-AFTRA and the WGA are negotiating with the AMPTP. Yeah, it might be confusing to you outside of Hollywood, and we're seeing confusion.
So much confusion.
On social media, and we have a lot of people who want to support the KThree and support Jen because she is on strike, which means she's not working. Yes, but we also want to try to clear a couple things up.
Exactly. And so that's why we're coming here today. If you're listening, if you're watching, we want to say thanks. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you for continuing to support us and our channel. But yeah, just the concept is basically this. The struck companies are not paying anybody.
Yes.
Like they're making a bajillion dollars and it's not filtering down. And so that is what everyone is striking for. Essentially, the biggest thing is probably residuals. I would say is the biggest thing. People are working on shows that are on Netflix that are considered the #1 shows, like Orange is the New Black, which kind of launched Netflix. And those actors are only making like pennies on the dollar. Like
while the network rakes in millions of dollars through subscribers. So we're hearing things like, let's boycott. But that the unions are not asking anyone to boycott.
They have not called for that yet. And once they do, we will blast it out to all of our peoples and everybody out there on Instagram and Twitter and over on YouTube.
Right. And if you are on social media, it doesn't mean that you can't talk about shows on Netflix or Disney or Amazon Prime. But Jen is a member of SAG-AFTRA. Yeah. And if you ever intend to be a member of SAG-AFTRA, then you should not create content promoting these products.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
But if you just have a fan site, then you're free to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Exactly. And it's starting to get a little gray because when it first came out, it was like an absolute no-go. Like if it was on a struck streaming site, you couldn't even put a post about it. Like not even as a fan if I was in SAG, because then it's like promoting that.
Right.
We're now starting to hear some people have sent emails over to SAG to get some information. So thank you for getting us this information as well. That some of the shows, because they are Korean content and not they don't fall under the same jurisdictions as SAG and WGA. They're considered cleared shows. So we've sent in an email to see where we fall in that because I am a member, it's really murky.
Right.
Because while I may not be currently working under a SAG contract with what I do, and you all know that I work in a location department, I'm a Teamster. But I also am a SAG member and hopefully one day want to continue to work under that. So I don't want to jeopardize my membership. So that's kind of why it's really murky right now for me and unfortunately for all of the KThree because of their association with me.
But there are ways to support us. You can leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You can follow and subscribe, interact with us, like our posts on social media. You can talk to us on our community tab in YouTube. And also we have a Ko-fi link. And so you can support our channel's content there.
You get our KDrama calendar with that Ko-fi, or you can just buy us a straight up coffee and you get a link to the calendar for the month and you can see what's all coming up and you can sort through it. And so that's staying current. So we're doing everything we can to stay as current as possible. But as you all know, 95% of the shows that we all want to watch are all on struck companies.
Yes. Isn't that a change? That leaves us where we are now for many reasons.
It's almost like the drama fever disaster. What was that? 2016.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden everything's gone. That's how it feels.
It does.
And it's so hard because there's so many shows that we want to talk about and share with you and do that. But unfortunately, we cannot.
Right.
So with that being said,
yes,
we are going to share with you where you can watch and what you can watch on VIKI and KOCOWA of our favorite actors and performers.
So we picked just a couple of our top favorites. And these are dramas that we have all watched.
Yes.
Some multiple times.
Right, Jen? Yes.
So we've got some recommendations for you because it's summer. Maybe you've got a little more time. Maybe you want to binge some shows. So these are all on KOCOWA and VIKI.
Let's just get started with one with basically Gong Yoo, who had a huge announcement that came out of him joining doing another drama. He hasn't been in a drama in a while, but it was on a struck company, so we can't talk about it. So we're like, what can we talk about, Gong Yoo?
Gong Yoo. So, so get ready for his new show. You know, for as much as he works, there's really only a couple of projects that I would say get mentioned a lot. Yeah. And it's because they're like the cream of the crop.
They really are.
Yeah. We've got the film Train to Busan, which is it's on YouTube here on VIKI. And if you haven't seen it, where have you been?
Yeah. I mean, it took me forever to watch it, but I did finally watch it.
All right. I'll give you that. All right. Because it flipped the zombie genre on its head.
It really
zombies aren't for everybody.
And I will say, I think that one started the craze of Korean zombies being crazy fast.
Yes.
Like all of our zombies here in the States, so slow.
So slow.
So slow.
But this film is great because it's got some really big stars in it. Ma Dong-suk and Choi Woo-shik. And then also, who else is in this?
Oh, Jung Yoo-mi.
Yes.
Yeah. Who we've seen in like a whole bunch of stuff that we can't talk about. But she's fantastic.
Yes. So Train to Busan, if you're in the mood for horror, if you're in the mood for a film.
If you're in the mood for Gong Yoo.
Yes.
I mean, there's always that.
There's always that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another recommendation is a throwback.
Yes.
It wasn't that long ago, was it? But Coffee Prince feels like it's from another era.
Doesn't it? I know.
It's from 2007.
That is another era.
I think so.
That's a whole different era.
Yeah. This is pre-military for him. And he became a huge star off of this. And the cast,
is
again,
stacked.
It really is. His co-star is Yoon Eun-hae, who has probably, she also did Princess Hours, but lately has mostly been doing reality shows. And then also Lee Sun-kyun, Parasite, Chae Jang-an, I love her. And then we have the boys working in the coffee shop. They were delightful.
They were the best.
Kim Dong-uk, Kim Jae-uk, and Eon, who unfortunately passed away in a motorcycle accident a few months after I think the show.
Oh, that's
ended.
right.
Yeah, it was sad.
But yeah, it's a classic.
It's a classic, and it's got a really different flavor. Like K-dramas are really different now.
Yes.
And this one, so 2007, there's a bit of it's very Shakespearean.
Right.
You know, she's disguised as a boy. The pacing is really different, but it holds up, I think.
Okay. I haven't watched it in a really long time, probably since I first watched it, so I haven't really dove into it. Though, interestingly, I did watch Lee Dong-uk's I Want to Talk with Gong Yoo, which is 2 episodes. It's also on VIKI.
Talk show.
Interesting concept, talk show-wise, because it was really very, very different from Western talk shows, very different. But what's interesting is that you kind of get deeper into it. They start talking about his career, and he talks about Coffee Prince and how Coffee Prince was kind of questioning his being an actor and whether he's, all that kind of stuff. And he was about to go in the military, and he's having basically an existential crisis, as all actors do, especially at that age, and took Coffee Prince, and it changed the trajectory. And so if you can fast forward through a lot of it, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff in that talk show.
That's an interesting concept to watch it knowing what a huge star he is now. And so, So it's really enjoyable. Yeah. And then our final Gong Yoo recommendation is Goblin. Goblin. You have to. I loved it when I watched it the first time. It was beautiful. It was epic. Half of it was in Canada. And I was like, what? What are they doing in Quebec City? That blew my mind.
I thought it was beautiful. It was beautifully shot. I was one of the few that was not the hugest fan overall of the main love line. I thought the the usual complaints. But I did love Lee Dong-wook and Yoona. I loved. They were the second couple really was everything for me. So
their romance, was such a quirky character. Like her snack eating, popping popcorn, rice, crunchy things.
Yeah.
She looks like she doesn't eat. She's tiny, right?
Yeah.
But didn't she? Oh, she ran the chicken shop.
She did.
Yes.
I loved her. I loved him. I loved their backstory. Like they had
reincarnation.
The reincarnation. Of course, I loved it. It was reincarnation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I feel like that was for me a heftier story, personally, than the goblin looking for his bride and with it. Anyway, I think there was a lot to offer for everybody.
There was so much going on in that drama because Yuk Sung Jae was also in it, and then we had
EL
in
her I think it was a red suit of power as Shin.
Amazing.
Oh, she was amazing.
Hold on.
And then I think Jung Hae-in was the baseball player, wasn't he?
Jung Hae-in was the baseball player. That's right. And also Kim In-jae.
Oh my God,
was the young king. And who was his princess? Kim So-hyun. Oh, they looked beautiful. That was the first time I saw Kim Min-jae. I was like, who is this young man?
Right?
My goodness.
My goodness, exactly.
Yes.
He's always had such a stage presence to me. Like he just shows up and you're like, yes,
he's
what's happening?
Too good looking. Yeah. This show was ridiculous, actually.
It really was. I think that's what this show was so good. I would love to go back and watch it. And this, oh my God, I'm going to get so much hate for saying this. And I love Gong. Listen, him in some movies that I don't know if we can talk about, but like if you get a chance, Man and Woman, good Lord. Like the man is just a power and a presence, right? Mm-hmm. But something about Goblin, he would go from being like this powerful, all-powerful goblin god to like a 4-year-old boy. And I couldn't make the two meld together as a character. And so his character never really gelled for me. Like I loved him as the goblin, but like his like freaky little boy just didn't work for me.
I think I loved just the fantasy of it all and the reincarnation and the tea house. And
oh my God. I love that tea house so much.
Yes.
Love the tea house.
Yes. And then the view just outside the window of our wall. Yes. Our wall.
Oh, there was some amazing stuff in that drama.
Yeah.
I will say that across the board. It was it was very, very good. There's a lot to recommend there.
Yes. Let's talk about Kim Go-eun.
Yeah, let's.
Yes. Because Kim Go-eun, Goblin was her second K-drama. She had only done She's in the Trap. She had done a number of films, and she was already like just a young rising star in the film world. So when she did She's in the Trap, it was a really big deal. You can find that on Viki and also on Tubi, but I wouldn't recommend She's in the Trap. It really devolved.
I heard that after like the halfway turn, like it just became a completely different story.
Yeah. And when your source material is a beloved manhwa and then you change it so much I know the PD she was just, raked through the coals for it.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, and this is going a little bit off topic, but I believe that PD went and then made a movie with the one lead whose name is escaping me right now. Park Hae-jin.
Yeah.
So that basically he could have the story that she promised him in the drama.
Oh my gosh.
And that movie didn't do well either.
No, it didn't.
There's like so much drama around this story.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the Kim Go-eun dramas that we were obsessed with on Viki.
Yumi Cells.
1 and 2. Where is 3? Where is it?
Marisa, I've been watching a lot of stuff with An Bo-yeon because of a show we can't talk about. And they keep showing clips from Yumi Cells. I'm still heartbroken over the fact that Eung was not Endgame.
Right.
Do you remember how upset we were?
Yes.
Do you remember we were just like, this can't be happening? Like, what is this show?
We were so invested in this relationship working.
So invested in working.
That's too real when the person you are convinced is the love of your life Turns out not to be.
I loved Ung so much. I couldn't even watch most of Yumi Cells 2 because I just could not get on the Bobby train.
Bobby?
You Bobby train. I just could not do it.
Oh my goodness.
But Kim Go-eun's Yumi is one of my favorite characters in all of K-drama.
She was such this amazing mix of like together and a hot mess.
Oh my God, right?
And lovely and spiraling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And
her cells. Oh my God. Her cells were so adorable. And if you guys ever get a chance, there's a behind the scenes of the voice actors that voiced the cells. We've linked to it before. I'll see if I can find it and throw it in the links below.
Because I remember when we started watching it, you're like, I'm not sure about this show. And I'm not sure about this idea of animation. Maybe it's too much, is it too childlike?
And then it was going to be way too twee.
Yeah.
It was the best. This gets me all the time where I'm like, this is going to be dumb. And then I end up loving it. So you guys all know. You guys know that about me. At least I admit it.
But that's low expectations, right? That's the secret to happiness.
Always. I'm like, this is going to be dumb. I love it so much. See? It's perfect. Her cells were fantastic. I still think Ung's cells in one are the best.
Oh my gosh.
His little, what is the one, the Chona, where he's like, poof. They were just, I loved them. I loved all the cells. But yeah, Yumi and Ung, I seriously just needed them to make it work. And this is the thing. A lot of dramas based on webtoons completely change the ending. I would totally take a season 3 where they totally change the ending and have her end up with them.
Yes, there has just been no rumors, no whispers at all about season 3, and it's kind of killing us.
Right? Not exactly the same, but there is a new drama out with An Bo-hyun and Park Ji-yoon, who played his best friend in Yumi Cells that was jealous of Yumi. And they're playing a couple together. And it's going to be an SBS drama. And he's a chaebol detective, as one is. And she, I think, is just a detective.
Okay.
And anyway, they're both detectives.
That's hilarious. Okay.
I can't wait.
All right.
I cannot wait.
Thank you, SBS.
So that's kind of, I'm taking that as not my Yumi Cells 3, but maybe like a spinoff.
Yes. In the universe.
Right, exactly.
Yumi's universe.
Exactly, Yumi's universe. Instead of them going on to becoming great animators, they decided to become detectives.
Yes. I love it. Okay.
I'll take it.
All right.
And now for some quick KThree KDrama Coffee Break business.
That's right. We love sharing our K-drama thoughts with you, our community of K-drama lovers. And we have a few ways that you can support us. You can buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/the-K3. And by becoming a member, you will get a calendar with weekly updates and also Jen's blog filled with her K-drama thoughts. You can also find us on YouTube. If you go into our archive, we have years of K-dramas to recommend for you. And talk to us there as well on our community tab. We also have a discount for a VPN service. So if you are dying to get your K-dramas that are airing only on Disney Plus in Asia, you can use our VPN. It keeps your devices safe. Just look for the code in the description below.
So since we're kind of talking about our super favorites and what you guys can kind of get caught up on, as you all know, we can't do a favorites on Viki without talking about Lee Sang-yoon.
The man Jen loves the most.
The most. I couldn't even tell you why. It's not like his projects are that good, but I adore him. I adore him.
Yes. We always have such great hope.
We always do.
Mm-hmm.
And it always, 90% of the time, spirals out of control and is terrible.
Yes.
But I adore him.
Yes.
So if you guys ever want to jump on and understand my VIP angst. VIP is on Viki and Cocoa. It's him and Jang Ra.
Mm-hmm. Married.
They're married and they were hot.
And they work together.
And then it all blew up.
That's right.
And I've never been more angry in my life about a show. I was so angry.
I remember the feeling of needing it every Monday night.
Oh my God, right?
Because we know how great K-dramas are with the cliffhangers.
Oh my God.
Which is why if you're new to K-dramas and you're starting to binge, our recommendation is to turn off the episode halfway through. Don't go to the end when it's 2:30 in the morning, because there will be a cliffhanger and then you're going to turn on. You're going to keep watching.
You're going to have to find out what happens next because it's right there and waiting for you.
That's right. And if you need to get up in the morning, it's a bad idea.
Such a bad idea. VIP will make you sleepless because up until that halfway turn, when the big reveal occurs, there are so many moments where you're just like, wait, no, it can't be. It can't be. No, it can't be. Oh my God. Is it? Is it?
It's not a who done it. It's a who is it?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I don't want to give too much away.
No.
But it's like, oh.
And then like the whole ending, like I do seriously just, if you guys do watch it, please let me know. I need to talk to people about it because the ending, I'm still like, oh God, really? Okay.
Painful.
It's so painful.
Yes.
But he was really good in it. Him and Jang are really, really were matched well, I thought.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to see them in a happier show together.
Yes. Yeah.
So that would be my big thing. Also, if you're also a big Lee Sung-yoon fan, as I am, Masters in the House is that the first season with him and Lee Sung-gi and Yuk Sung-jae again and Young Se-hyung. Those four guys together, it was hilarious and it was heartfelt and there was just a lot of really good stuff. There were just moments where it was hilarious and moments where you just really liked the guys. It was just I really highly recommend that one if you're looking for just kind of some easy watching without a lot of drama involved. So yeah.
And then one of his better dramas, comedy, Won the Woman with Ihani.
They also had amazing chemistry.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like he's so dry.
Yeah.
And she's so not. Like it just worked really well.
Her kind of wacky is just the best because it's unexpected.
Yes.
You know, she's a former Miss Universe.
Right?
Yeah. Miss Korea, like the ultimate Korean woman, you know, plays the traditional instrument. Beautiful.
And then she's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You're like, what just happened? And that's amazing.
Yeah.
I
love her. Yeah.
Yes. So I felt like he is such a stoic guy. Like usually like he's just a stoic dude, right?
Yeah.
If you watch Masters in the House, it's not that he's like doesn't have a personality, but he's just not wacky. Wacky is not a word to use to describe him. And she is. And so Won the Woman was, I thought, a really nice melding of those two styles.
Yes. And she plays two characters. So, and her suits were amazing and the flashy apartments were amazing. It's just, there was so much good stuff. And there's, you know, it's mystery and there's crime and there's fashion. It was just great.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Now that we're talking about it, I think I might have to do that as a rewatch soon.
You know, the one I want to rewatch is actually a film that he appears in called Okay, Madam. It's also on Viki and Tubi. And speaking of stoic, he has a small role, more than a cameo.
What I love about that is I watched some interviews with him and he was like, I just really wanted to, he's always trying to like become a better actor. And I love that about him. Like he left Masters in the House to like do theater.
Yeah.
Until he was in a play for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
And then he wanted to try comedy, which is why he did Okay, Madam. And he wanted to be a villain. And so that's why he also did that. But yeah, so that's why I loved him in that. So he wasn't a main lead, but it was a lot of fun because he was so playing against type.
Yes. Unexpected.
Yeah.
So what was the first K-drama that really did it for you with him?
Oh, that was On the Way to the Airport.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love that. That is where I was like, hello, Lee Sung-yoon. Yes, I will watch anything you're in. And I have every single one of them to the very bitter end. So and some are terrible, but this one was not.
So On the Way to the Airport is not on Viki. It is we can't recommend where to find it because it's only on unlicensed sites. But if you do stumble on it and use our VPN, then this is, how shall I say it? Kind of haunting in a way. Yeah.
Like it starts with, it's such a tragic beginning of what brings these two people together. And then it's just about, I think it's the epitome of the Korean healing drama. Right?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we tend to think of healing dramas as, well, you see, because there's an affair.
Yes.
And so that, I know for a lot of people, they don't want to see infidelity at all.
Exactly.
So just know that that's what this is about.
But the affair itself is about like it is about healing, though, sort of. So, I mean, it's a little dicey for sure. But yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was like, yes, because her husband was terrible. And we love Shin Sun-ruk, but he was a terrible husband.
Oh, yes.
He was the worst.
Yes.
And his wife who actually is also the sister from Flower of Evil.
Flower of Evil.
Which you can watch on Viki. You can also watch it on a Struck Company, but we recommend watching it on Viki instead.
That's right.
And so I remember when I first saw her, I was like, oh, she's terrible. And then I saw her and I was like, wait a second. But yeah, so I mean, there was a lot of, I thought that it was just a very mature drama.
Oh, definitely.
And so maybe that's what drew me to it to begin with. And then, yeah. Oh God, I loved On the Way to the Airport so much.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what I like about him is there have been some dramas, but for the most part, he is co-starring with women in his age group.
Yes.
I mean, there are a couple where they're quite young.
Right.
Yeah.
They're usually terrible.
Yeah.
The ones that I think, and maybe it's because of how old we are, but the ones that I think A, do well, and B, get the best response are the ones that he does with women that are of his age.
Yeah.
In his age bracket.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we really loved him with Jang NARA.
Yes.
And she is truly one of our favorites.
Yes. All right. So let's just to wrap it up. Let's talk about some Jang NARA dramas, and then we will send you guys on your way to support the strike. What is your favorite Jang NARA drama that someone can actually watch?
My favorite is actually, well, I've got two.
Okay.
There's Fated to Love You
with
Jang Hyuk.
Yes.
But it's of another era. I think it would be really hard to watch now.
Okay.
It was not that long ago, but the tropey tropes are really kind of a lot to deal with. But it is one of my favorites, and I watched it pretty early on in my K-drama, so it was fun. It was discovering all of these ridiculous tropes. And,
of course.
You know, he's a chaebol, and he was out of control at the beginning, but, you know, it's a ridiculous storyline. They sleep together. It was a one-night stand. This magical thing happens where he thinks she's his girlfriend. She looks like his girlfriend, but someone cast a spell. It was very odd. What? Because then it's
like the Secret Garden, like weird, suddenly they're doing body switching. Wait, what?
Exactly.
What?
And it really doesn't,
how did that happen?
It doesn't play into the rest of the drama.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just this momentary device so that she could get pregnant so that they could end up together. And he's a chaebol. So it's like, well, he has to marry her. And so she's in this mansion. And it's just like, but the two of them together.
Right.
The two of them together are so good. So good, so good. But the other one I recommend is Go Back Couple.
You've always loved that one.
Yes. It's about a couple in distress, and then they wake up and they're back in college.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, he works so hard, she works so hard, and the two of them are no longer communicating. They're taking each other for granted. Does he take her for granted more than she takes him? I don't know. But they find themselves with a do-over. You know, they get to go back as a couple. So now they're back in college, and Jang Ki-young catches her eye.
Love it.
But he's such a typical second male lead. It's like they did not let the man have a personality at all. He just looks like, you know, he's the military rep on campus or something like that. So he's just very, very straight back, you know, it's very silly though, and very fun. And there's some kind of big life lessons about finding yourself and who you are and finding your worth and what defines that. So it's like, do you stay in this life where you get to redo it, but your child is in the other life? So what are you going to do?
Yeah, interesting. And the husband was Sun Ho Jun.
Yes.
I like him a lot.
Yes.
I can't believe I haven't watched this one.
It's a good one. And it's only 12 episodes.
Oh.
And it's on KOCOWA and Viki.
I'll check that one out.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then finally, Jen.
My favorite Jang NARA drama is Sell Your Haunted House.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even understand why it was so good. Like, as we sit, exactly. Maybe that's what it was. But as we sit here right now, I'm like, what made it so good? Like, she's just, all she is like she's like a ghost hunter.
Yes.
But the opening scene of her in her all black leather and her coat and her nails and her stabby, like, crystal. Like, I was just entranced from the jump on that. Like, it was just so freaking good. And the story progressed so well. And then her co-star was Jung Young-hwa. He was fantastic. Like, there was no actual romance, but they kind of teased a romance, but it never, you know, it didn't like bog the story down, which was amazing. And so it was just this great, just a great story with a lot of ghosts and like evil people. And then you had Kang Ma-geum, who
Yes.
was her assistant. It was a great cast and it was a great story. And I think I watched that like back to back. Like that's how much joy it brought me.
You know what? I think it was just like really well defined. It didn't it didn't overextend itself. It didn't bring in all these other extraneous plots. It's just in this small corner of Seoul. And it was kind of this clearly defined world, because it can get out of control when you're dealing with demons and ghosts and, rituals and things.
Right?
So, yeah.
And I think you're right. Like, I feel like it was just the story.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't have like this subplot and that subplot. And then we're going to go over here. It was the story. She wanted to know why her mom died and what all that entailed.
Yes.
We went from A to B to C, and that's how we ended up at the end. And it was really, really well done.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
That's a big recommend, that one.
Such a big recommend.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God, this was a lot of fun. I have so many things to go rewatch now, Marisa.
That's right. There are plenty of shows to keep you busy on Viki and Cocoa.
There really are, you
Yes.
guys. So once again, thank you so much for all of your support. As far as just the industry in general, we really need to make sure that the people who are creating the art get paid for the art and not all of it going into the big CEOs' banks. And so with that being said, thanks so much, you guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching us. Be sure to talk to us on social media, support us at Ko-fi, get our VPN because you need it to protect your stuff, your devices, and we will see you next time.
Thanks so much, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.